Hey there, it's Crafty Jennabug. I'm going to try my hand at dyeing some more paper. I'm going to do some coffee, this time a bit stronger, and I have some hibiscus, raspberry hibiscus tea, and I have some dried elderberries that I'm going to attempt to get some dye, some color out of. So that's what we're gonna do today. Gonna get some water boiling and we'll get started. Alright, I have a couple of mason jars that are clean, never been used. I'm going to actually brew this raspberry hibiscus tea right into this jar, because why not? I'm going to use 2 tea bags, I think. Let's see how much one gets me. Alright, I've got some water on to boil, and once it is hot enough, we will start working on this. My water's hot. I went ahead and put a raspberry hibiscus tea bag into a pint-sized mason jar. That's pretty red. I think 1 is going to be enough. I'm going to put this to the side and let it steep until it's cool. That is a beautiful color. Then I have a second pint-sized mason jar, and I'm going to just put a little bit, let's give exact measurements, shall we? I will put a tablespoon of elderberries in there. Then I'm just going to pour this over it. And hopefully they will impart some color to my water. If not, I will boil them. Let's add another tablespoon. I have plenty of elderberries. We'll do 2 tablespoons. And like I said, I'll let this steep, rehydrate those berries, let it steep, and if need be, I will boil them. So far, the water has a light, very, very, very faint purple color. I might have to mash those berries a bit. They're not even hydrated yet, so yeah. Oh, it is coloring the water a little bit. Awesome. I'm gonna let those sit. Oops. Brought out a bunch of berries. I'm gonna let that sit and steep, uncovered, both of them, and see what happens. I've got these coffee grounds. This is about 3 pots worth of coffee grounds. They're used, and I'm going to attempt coffee dyeing again. This time I hope I get a stronger concentration of color in the liquid. So I've got some water on to boil, and when it is ready, we'll pour this out together. Alright, my water has boiled. Well, it almost came to a boil. I didn't quite let it get to a boil because I didn't want to scorch this. So I'm gonna let this beautiful brown liquid steep for a little while and cool off so that I can actually handle it. And then I'm going to use some cheesecloth and strain it into another container. Stay tuned. Alright, my coffee water has sat here for about 25-30 minutes. I filled my jar.
Not all the way, but mostly all the way.
Well, I did it like this so that I would have some in a jar, and then I'm gonna fill my spray bottle.
Aha, I knew it.
Because I wanted to try it 2 different ways. And then I gotta raise you up again so you can actually see what I'm doing. gonna squeeze the coffee out. Dump out my cheesecloth, which I will rinse out, and hopefully it will keep that nice coffee color. So now, I have this beautiful brown color. That's much darker than the previous coffee I used. Very pleased with that. This one is gorgeous, and I did this in two different containers because this one I want to use for dipping paper in, and then this one I want to try out spraying paper in like I did last time. All right, I think this tea is about as dark as it's gonna get, and that's fine. It's cooled. It's been about 30 minutes. And it is cool. So that is ready. You can't really see that color, can you? That is ready for dyeing some papers. Now for the elderberries, I need to drain them. I think we're gonna get good enough color from that. I don't think I need to boil it at all. So let me get my strainer situation set up and then we'll strain it. All right, I've got another pint-size mason jar. My funnel is clean. I got some more cheesecloth to strain out the elderberries. That is very close in color to the, it's very similar in color to the raspberry hibiscus tea. Alright, I'm gonna squeeze this. I think I squeezed all the water out of that. I will, and then I will compost those elderberries. Those elderberries will make their way into the compost. And look at that. So this is a little lighter. The elderberries are a little lighter in color. Can you see? This is the elderberries, this is the tea. And I'm gonna label them, and then we're gonna do some paper dyeing. All right, we're back to drip some liquid on these papers. I thought about dipping them, but then I decided, nah, we're gonna do it this way. So I've got a pipette, and I'm going to take some of each of the liquids and dribble them on. This is the elderberry. Let's move on to the raspberry hibiscus tea. All right, I'm gonna let these sit and dry and see what they do, and we'll come back to them. In the meantime, I've got some book pages I'm gonna do the same thing to. Elderberry over here. The raspberry hibiscus over here. All right, we'll let those dry and then come over here where I have 3 pages, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do elderberry on this one, raspberry hibiscus on this one, and on this one I'm gonna do a combination of coffee, elderberry, and raspberry hibiscus. This one I'm going to Take my spray bottle with coffee in it, and I'm going to squirt. Oh, I think it's clogged. Okay. And then, you know what, I'm going to let that one dry, I think. There's a lot of liquid on there, and it's all pooling here. So I'm going to let this dry also, and we will be back to see what they look like when they are all dry. So I just came in from crafting in the other room, and I thought I'd give you an update on how these are. They're not completely dry, but this is the elderberry, and as you can tell, it's just a very subtle, like, greenish bluish color. This one's going to be a lot of fun, I think. When this is dry, I'm going to, actually, I might hang these up to dry, and then that way they will dry faster. And then this one was the raspberry hibiscus tea. It's more of a brownish color now. I did let the jars of liquid sit, the tea and the elderberry mixture sit for a couple of days before I started doing this, so it might have affected the color, but I really like the subtle colorations, and this spot is awesome. So I might go ahead and pull these off of here and do some others. This one is another elderberry page, and as you can see, it's got these amazing, like, bluish green. This one you can see the coloration so well. It's not anywhere near dry, but I might come back and splatter some more in a minute. Same with this one with the raspberry hibiscus. I love the colorations. I want some more variety. You can see some darker spots in here. That, I love that. And then over here, this one was the raspberry hibiscus. You can see, get out of the way. You can see the really cool coloration changes. The elderberry, I love this corner here. And then this was the one I just sprayed with coffee for now, but it's gonna be a mix of things. So I think that's what we'll do. I'll go ahead and start splattering some. I think the two first pages, these two pages, I'm just going to hang up to dry as they are. I want to see what they look like. I don't want to go too crazy, and I don't mind that it's very subtle. These two, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle a little bit more on in a couple of places and then let them dry, and then the same with these. So there are those, gonna let those dry more. They didn't completely dry. We're gonna let the other ones dry, and I'm gonna hang up those other two. I have removed the plain copy paper that I dribbled the liquids on. I moved them to dry somewhere else, and I wanted to try something new. I took 2 more sheets of copy paper and I crumpled them up, and I'm gonna dribble the liquids on them again, or I'm going to dribble the liquids on them and see how that affects the results. Alright, that's enough of the elderberry. I'm sorry about the lighting. My light died. It's getting charged. Alright, we're going to leave it like that and let it dry, and we'll see what we come back to. Alright, it's been several hours, and these are still a little damp, but I think I like them. I'm going to leave them as is. There is a slight hue, so I'm going to move those and maybe do another set of copy papers. Then over here, these two are completely dry. I'm gonna leave them. I think this one I'm not sure about. I like those. I like the edges, but I want more color in the middle. This one is alright. It's pretty well dyed, so I'll put that in the completed pile. This one's going to get another elderberry treatment. This one I like. That's another hibiscus page. We'll call that one done. This one is pretty light. I think that one could use another something here. And then this one I just sprayed with more coffee to see what would happen, because it hasn't done much of anything. We've got some nice coloration up here, but I want more. I'm gonna go get some more pages and we'll do another round. Alright, I liked the crumple method a lot. I like the way it turned out. So I decided to crumple up some more and leave them a little crumpled. So like I've almost completely unfolded these, and these are still like crumpled balls. I'm gonna try dribbling in them and see how that ends up. All right, this one in the middle, I'm going to do a combination of all three. And then I got this one. This one needed more elderberry. We'll do some more raspberry. I really like the coloration on that. This one, I think I wanted to do more elderberry on. And this one, I poured coffee on. I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of everything on it and see what happens. Tuck that under there so that it builds up some color there. All right, that's where we're gonna leave them. And hopefully they'll be a bit more interesting when we get back. All right, these are all dry and they look really cool. They look really cool. This one turned out really nice. Really dark. I like that one a lot. This one is neat. I think I might come back on some of the whiter spots and dribble some more. This one, sorry, I'm doing this one-handed. That one's pretty cool. I really like this crumple method. Like I said, I think I am going to come back and just dribble something on the areas that don't have any coloration. Oh, that one turned out cool with these two little spots. This one must have had coffee on it. I bet that was from the newspaper, because it's the same newspaper I did the coffee and tea dyeing on. Just let it dry, so when it got wet it must have reactivated. I like that one. Yeah, that's fun. That one is obviously up against the elderberry. So this one I'm going to call done. This one I want to dribble a little more on, these two corners. This one I think I want to add some elderberry here. I think I'm just going to spray a little bit of coffee here. And then same with this one. Some coffee on the edges to get it dyed a little bit. And then we have these, which I just dribbled a little bit on after it had dried, and I love it. Like, it has two different layers of color. This one is amazing. It's done. This one is really cool. I think it could use more color though. Then we have this one, which I did the same as the other elderberry. I love it. I love all these little circles and splotches. That one's done. This one is neat, But I want something else here, so I think I'm going to dribble some more elderberry on it. This is the one that was all the different colors, I think. Why did that one get removed already? I can't remember. I can't keep up with it. This one I'm going to dribble some elderberry on. So there's a lot of elderberry dribbling gonna go on. So I'm going to readjust my papers and be right back. All right. So these I wanted to find my thing. These I wanted to dribble some elderberry on. And then this one, I just crumpled this paper a little bit lengthwise, and I wanted to see what it would be like. I think the elderberry is my favorite. Just took a piece of copy paper and crumpled it lengthwise. Do some coffee. Haven't dribbled with coffee yet, but we'll see how those combine. Over here, I think I'm gonna try coffee. Over here, I wanted to dribble elderberry on this one. I think this one this is another crumpled paper I had already pulled. I'm just gonna use coffee. All right, I think that's where we will leave those and let them dry, see what they look like when we come back. All of my papers have dried, and I have this lovely stack of grungy dyed paper to play with. But I wanted to try one more thing. So, I have these 3 bowls, and in them I'm going to pour the mixtures that I made to dye the papers, 1 in each bowl. And then I'm going to take a few more sheets. I'm going to crumple them up, and I'm just going to set them in the liquid and let them kind of wick up the liquid and see what they look like when they're done. So that's going to be the final project in this video, as I wanted to dye a bunch of papers, and I think I have quite a stack now. I can't get over, this is the one that we did a bunch of, like, all of the different liquids on. I started by spraying it with coffee, and just look at all of the different colorations. I let it dry, and then I'd apply another layer, and then I'd let it dry and let it apply another, and apply another layer, and it just, I'm in love. It's so grungy and weird. I'm gonna go ahead and fill up these bowls and crumple the pages, and I'll be back. All right, we've got elderberry, raspberry hibiscus tea, and coffee. These have been sitting in jars for a few days, so there are a little bit of solids. Maybe they started to ferment. I'm not quite sure exactly, but they are interesting. So I crumpled up, I had 3 of each paper, 2 different kinds of book page and a piece of copy paper. I plan on putting 1 each of those crumpled pages in a bowl. I also have these pieces of cheesecloth left over from, I believe, the elderberry ink video, and I'm gonna toss those in there too and let them get dyed. So 1, 2, 3, and a piece of cheesecloth. I missed. 1, 2, 3, and a piece of cheesecloth. 1, 2, 3, and a piece of cheesecloth. And yeah, I'm just gonna let those sit there and wick up that liquid. I'm not gonna like move them around at all. I'm just gonna leave them, and then I will probably pour out the liquid and let them dry in their crumpled up state before opening them up. So this is gonna be a long one. I'll let them sit for quite a while. Hopefully the pages don't break down at all. But yeah, I'll keep you posted on the progress, so stay tuned. These are the balled up papers that I put in the bowls of the liquid. to let them wick up the liquid and dye it that way. Wanted to see what would happen. I let them sit in there for about 2 hours, and then I transferred them to this, and I removed them in order that I placed them, or they're sitting in the order that they were in the bowls. So these are the elderberry ones, these are the raspberry hibiscus, and these are the coffee. What should we start with first? Let's start with the coffee. This is the copy paper. That's pretty cool. I dig it. Very subtle. I really like this bit. That turned out neat. Cool, a little bit of coloration. And then the cheesecloth. It's lightly dyed. A couple of darker places. Really cool. All right, now for the raspberry hibiscus. That's pretty cool. Subtle. This has some neat designs in it. Got a couple of cool changes. Some really light coloration going on in some places, some darker bits. That one turned out cool. I like that. And then the cheesecloth. This maintained a little bit of pink color. It's hard to see. I think you can actually see it better on camera. In some places it's pinkish, some places it's still brown. That could probably stand to be dyed again. Actually, it's very subtle. And then the elderberry. Oh. Very nice. Look at that. Look at all that coloration. I mean, there's a big white chunk, but that's really cool. I really like the way that came out. Oh, that one's neat. It's got that blue line running through it. I like how that one turned out a lot. That blue up here, wow. Look at that. You can see like these crazy little, look at that. Isn't that awesome? That might be my favorite one, the elderberry. And then this. So some of the cheesecloth is green and some of it is purple. Like, how did that even happen? That is so wild. I really like that. All right, let's go over everything we did. So I think it's safe to say I achieved what I was hoping to by doing this little experiment. The cheesecloth was just kind of a bonus, but I really wanted to make, I really wanted to dye sheets of paper using various liquids, and I did. Now I have a nice, wonderful collection of dyed papers, which was exactly what I wanted. The cheesecloths are awesome. They will be used, something that was going to be thrown away. We just looked at all of these, so I will spare you that again, but I will flip through some of these just in case I didn't show them all to you. This one is probably my favorite. It has a little bit of everything in it, and all of the colors just kind of overlap. It's so grungy. I love it. This one is also really cool. This is another one that I added a lot of different liquids to. I think that's another one. This one too. I love the way that they just meet. These are some of the ones I crumpled. Oh, look at that. Just that nice purpley area in the middle. This one's really cool. I might have to scan some of these. Maybe make some digitals. Obviously not the book pages, because they're probably copywritten. Probably all sorts of rules against that. I really like how these turned out with the different, like, spots. It seems like dyeing the page and then letting it dry before applying any more is the best route. Like, that just, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of, like, bacteria growing on a petri dish, but in a good way. That one turned out cool. It's got some elderberry in there. These are the ones I just did flat a couple of times. You can tell by the different colorations. This one's really cool. You can kind of see some purplish. Yeah. You can still see some purple in there. That is wild. I like that one. That one's going to have to get scanned. Pretty cool. Again, the purple shows up much better in the camera than it does under the light I have it on. Or under the light I have on it. That is so cool. I had no idea the elderberry would react that way with the paper. Sweet. Well, there it is. This awesome stack of delicious papers. This was a fun experiment. I'm going to put this one on top. I like it so much. This was a really fun experiment. I'm definitely going to be playing with different things to dye papers with. I have enough book pages, so why not, right? And I have a ton of copy paper, so win-win. Yeah, these are really cool. Like I said, I'm going to scan some of the cool copy papers. Maybe I'll offer some digitals in my shop, which you can find in the link in the description of all of my videos, where it says if you'd like to support me on various social medias, whatever. It's a link tree link, and it'll take you to all of the different social medias. It'll take you to my Ko-Fi shop, So I will eventually scan some of these and figure out how to turn them into digitals, in case anyone is interested in printing them out. They will eventually be found in my Ko-Fi shop. Just gotta figure it out. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're inspired to dye some paper with things you've got around the house. Teas, coffee, berry juice. I'm gonna experiment quite a bit more with this, I think. This was a lot of fun. And now I don't have that stark white paper. So, awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope we'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.